Evening, good afternoon, good morning, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I read to you headlines from my news feed and give you my thoughts that I have on the headlines, on the articles, on the subject in general. If I have any that I want to share, I'm going to share them with you right now. So I'm telling you, it's not news. It's just my notes on the news. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And thank you for being you. Let us proceed. Timberland talks having a drug problem. How pills and prescription drugs infiltrated music. This is kind of that talk on the opioid epidemic that, I was kind of like, I've been having a conversation like, I just don't see it. But I guess if I think back to my experience with being in recovery for debting and whatever, and being around other people in recovery for using substances, I remember people talking about Oxycontin 10 years ago. And I have two cousins who have said that we've had some deaths in our family that are related to the opioid epidemic, two of them. And it's not confirmed or denied because I've never asked anyone about them. But I do know that the funerals that I've been to a couple funerals where it's sort of like there's not really a discussion about why the person made their transition. And that's kind of like almost the first question at least I have in my head. Well, what happened? How'd they die? But, these two cases, I never got the answer. Was that good? And then, I guess, I don't know if Molly's are, opioids or not. But anyway, there's been big talk about Molly in music. Molly's and, taking Molly's, popping Molly's, whatever. So, anyway, I thought it was interesting to see, this headline and the ways in which the opioid crisis or the opioid situation may be a part of my consciousness and my life in a way that I'm just not conscious of. Come on, boo. You coming over here? Okay. Blind. Ow, you wet. It's wet and cold and rainy outside. Blind Tom, the first black man to perform at the White House, was blind, autistic, a slave, and a musical prodigy. Prehistoric women stronger than elite rowers. So I guess people who, like rowing, where they row the boats as a competition. I guess those are like some of the strongest elite athletes. Is that what they're saying? And that prehistoric women were stronger because they had to like grind up grain, and that was very laborious, labor intensive. And I don't know, because I'm not really clear how strong elite rowers are. So when someone says they're stronger than elite rowers, I'm like, is that strong or not strong? The reference kind of goes over my head. Because we did have a rowing team at Columbia, but that's all I knew. They don't call it rowing. What do they call it? It's some other name for it, but I can't think of it. In wake of water crisis, Michigan aims to replace all lead pipes within 20 years. I wonder throughout the country how many municipalities have lead pipes as part of their infrastructure. Because I think the whole water infrastructure is a mess. And I'm kind of suspicious. I know in a lot of new builds they use this white PVC, this plastic. I'm like, that's plastic. So it does not seem very stable to me. But, yeah. So I'm like, are they replacing it with plastic? It's freezing in here, girl. A consumer protection agency or a rogue one? Bella looking at me. So with the Consumer Protection Agency, I guess they had a procedure in place so that if the person in charge left, there was someone who was already pre-appointed to be the next leader. So like, for example, in some organizations, it's already known that the vice president this year is going to be the president next year. That's sort of how this organization was organized. That's what the bylaws or the, you know, whatever, that's the way it was supposed to work. It was designed to work. It was created to work, or, you know, whatever. That's the way it's been working. And so one person who was at the top left. Before he left, I think it was a man, and I think he put somebody in the spot so that when he left, that person would become the leader. At the same time, when the guy left, President Zero appointed someone else to lead that agency. Now, the Consumer Protection Agency, that's the agency that is in place to protect consumers. Zero is the last person that I would trust to protect consumers. So it's good, and I don't know if the agency was designed in the way that it was designed so that it would not be politically, it wouldn't be run by political appointees, but rather by people who were passionate about the work of protecting consumers. I don't know what the design was, but anyway, Zero appointed somebody to run the agency, and that's like probably he probably happy about that. Yes, he gets to protect consumers, i.e. protection to him means F. Fuck them over. Yay! I get to do things like, you know, that's why he trying to appoint so many people to judicial, so that when he do the stuff that he do, then the people, you know, take him to court, and then the judicial is full of people that he done appointed, people who think like him, people who don't give a care about nobody but making money, or big corporations, or themselves, and so they not beholden to the law, don't respect the law, don't care nothing about the law, probably don't even understand or know the law. Wasn't he trying to appoint somebody to like be a judge, like a high judge who had never tried a case, or had never judged a case, or some foolishness? I mean, they just full of foolishness. So anyway, the one guy that the Zero appointed showed up on his first day with donuts. Hey, no new appointees. I'm here. I'm your new boss. And meanwhile, the woman who had been promoted was sending out an email saying, hey, you know, I'm your new boss. Let's get to work. So there's some, I guess, conflict. Because I guess Zero basically, sometimes it seemed like Zero just do whatever he want to do. And the rest of us just have to take it. And that's like not a good feeling. But I want to affirm that things are in divine order. Things are in good order. Things are in godly order. I need to affirm that. Woo, help me to see that, God. Help me to see through the veil to the truth of good and God and order and justice. University of Chicago unveils statue honoring trailblazing Black female scholar. I wish I knew her name, and I wish her name was in the headline, because I'd like to say her name. I did click on the article, but oh, hold on, let me just pause this, click on the article, and I'm gonna come back and say a name. Say a name. Say a name. Georgiana Ross Simpson. She was a trailblazer at the University of Chicago. Georgiana Ross Simpson. Oh, we already talked about that. Volvo wants to sell cars like Verizon sells phones. And I was kind of like, what, leasing them? Aren't car companies already leasing them? When I looked at the article, what I thought was interesting is, like, for example, for $600, you get your car and your insurance is a flat rate no matter where you are in the country. And see, here in Michigan, I think we have, if we don't have in Detroit, I shouldn't say in Michigan, because actually it's red, the insurance is red, it seems it's redlined in this region. So if you live in a Black community, your car insurance is way more than if you live in a white community. And like the rest of the country, this region of the country is segregated. So, you know, it's more expensive to be Black here than it is to be white here. So anyway, but Volvo is doing like a flat rate thing. Like for $600, you get this car no matter where you are in the country. So they take care of your insurance. They take care of, you know, all you have to do is put gas in the car. So, you know, yeah. These were the most Instagram cities in the world in 2017. Istanbul, Turkey was up there. I think they were like number 2. I can't remember who was number 1. I think Paris was number 5, France, but I didn't go any further than that. But I'm having wanderlust. Like, I'm going out of town this weekend, and I am so excited. What's today, Wednesday? I'm like, are we on the road yet? I remember when I was in Mississippi and we would get on the road to go to New Orleans or Mobile, Alabama, or Memphis or wherever. And it was like, I don't know, it's like my breathing just got like, it's like I could smell the road in my nose before we were getting ready to go. And like my nose would be ready for like, to be smelling some fresh air, some new air. So anyway, yeah. Federal employees stole data from Homeland Security. So they took people's names and social security numbers and stuff like that. But the report or the article says, oh no, they weren't like stealing your people's names and social security numbers, our names, whoever, your name, social security number, because they want to steal your identity. They were developing a competing software, and they needed the names so they could put the names in the software and the hardware and the computer program to see if it worked the way it was supposed to work. And then I guess we're going to sell it to Homeland Security and other people, other agencies. So, and then I think what they said they were going to offer federal employees was hackation protection, where they, not hackation protection, but you know, where they monitor your credit monitoring. That's like in our neighborhood, we have a security company, but it's not really a security company. It's like a monitoring company. So like if something is going down, they don't, I guess they call the police if they see something going down. But people were kind of upset about that. Like, we're paying for them to just drive around and look. But it is true that, like, you know, even when you have neighborhood watches, just people watching has an impact on the security of the neighborhood. I think that's what's been a step. Yeah, get in here and get warm, girl. Come on, you my little heater. You my little heater. That's Bella. But anyway, they just looking to see if you got hacked, if your stuff got stolen, or if it's being used. They really can't tell you if it's got stolen unless it's being used, right? I guess if the people report that they've been stolen. Philando Castile's girlfriend, I forget her name, has reached an $800,000 settlement over the fatal shooting she live streamed. That baby girl, that woman, the rest of his family and community, black people in general and people in the world, and you know, all of these, this terrorism that we have to, that we are enduring and experiencing, and it has a big impact on us, even if we're not conscious of it. So I guess I just always kind of feel like money, when it's associated with the loss of someone's life, is kind of annoying to me. Even like when someone is in prison, falsely imprisoned, and then they give them money, I'm like, so does the money buy them back years? Because I don't think you can buy back years. Does the money buy back the life? Because I don't think you can buy back a life. So it kind of just, it makes me feel even sadder when I hear stuff like that. Like, okay, so $800,000. And I'm not saying that money doesn't like improve or doesn't have the possibility of improving the lives of people who are still here. But her father, you know, baby girl's father is, you know, you can't like replace somebody's father with money. You know, like you can't hug, I mean, you can hug the money, but it's not going to hug you back. It's not going to give you wisdom. It don't love you. I don't know. Astronomers just found more than 70 invisible galaxies lurking in the deepest, darkest patch of the night sky. I like this idea of dark matter and things that we can't see. Like you look and you think you see and you understand everything, and there's so much that you can't see and you can't understand. That's where hope, to me, that's like where hope rests. You know, it's like I look at society, I look at the world, and it looks a certain way, and I just have to have hope that there's like a bunch of dark matter, and there's a bunch of invisible galaxies that I can't see or understand, that are in operation and are doing the do, and that it's all good, and that it's all God. Stunning aerial photos capture U.S. cities from above, and they had a shot, I think, of New York. But I like photographs, and I like cityscapes, especially now that I've been doing tours. I'm like way more conscious of buildings than I've ever been. You know, now I can kind of look at the Detroit city, you know, like you know, be like, oh, that's the so-and-so building. Oh, that. And before it was just like I don't know if I could have recognized Detroit from Chicago, from New York, but I was watching this video and there was like a red building in Chicago skyline. Then I was watching some other video and I'm like, there's that red building again. It's like my consciousness has been heightened to buildings. Harvard researchers say more than half of U.S. children will be obese by 35. I feel like that's some people's plan, like these pharmaceutical and food companies, that's their plan. So the food companies, they say it's due to, you know, bad eating and I guess, you know, people not being active. But I guess, you know, they feed you and your children crappy food. You buy into buying and feeding yourself and your children crappy food. Then, so that you paying them to get the crappy food that's going to make you fat, keep you fat, you know. And then after that, when you get sick, when your children get sick, you paying them to get the drugs and the, like, what's this thing? To get the drugs and the treatment that's supposed to make you well. Like when I was growing up, I never even heard of a dialysis center. And now apparently it's like everybody's on dialysis. Like, when did that happen? Was that happening all along? I've asked elders and they're like, I never heard of dialysis centers. And now not everybody, let me be conscious of what I'm saying. Now it seems to be ubiquitous, like so many dialysis centers. And I encounter a lot of people who seem to be on dialysis. So I know, you know, there's somebody sitting around that's happy to see this Harvard research study. But for those of us who are not happy about it, let us drink more water. Let us eat more whole foods. Let us move our bodies more. Get out and walk. Get out, even if it's just 1 minute today. Maybe it'll be 2 minutes tomorrow. Maybe it'll be 15 minutes in 2 weeks. Maybe it'll be a half hour next week. Maybe today you only drink 1 glass of water, but tomorrow or next week you drink 2 glasses of water. Or maybe you're already drinking, you know, half your body weight in water. Like, you know, they say if I weigh 100 pounds, I don't weigh 100 pounds anymore, but when I used to weigh 100 pounds, it was like 50 ounces was my target. But really what I found, and you might find the same thing, is that if I got 100 or 150 ounces, ooh, my body was really thriving on that. Like 50 was like almost the minimum just for like bare bones survival. But for thrival, 100, you know, so like drink more water. So if you're already hitting that minimum, explore hitting more than that. Eat more whole foods. Eat an apple. Eat a banana. Cut up some lettuce and eat a salad. Make your own dressing. Personally, me, I like lemon juice and olive oil, and I take a lemon and I cut it in half and I squeeze it. I don't buy out of that plastic container that's shaped like a lemon. I squeeze it and then I put some like herbs and spices and salt, and sometimes I like red pepper in it. It's delicious, and I know exactly what's in it. It's no strange funny stuff. Have you ever looked? I don't like salad dressing anyway, but you know, get things that you don't have to look at the ingredients for. Have you ever looked at the ingredients of salad dressing? Eat some broccoli. Sometimes what I'll do is, like, if I go to like, you know, I might get, like, now for whatever reason in the winter time, in the fall, I like to buy like just plain frozen Brussels sprouts. And sometimes I'll just throw them in the oven and let them toast up, and then I eat them like, you know, just like a snack. Or string beans, frozen string beans. I like roasted vegetables. That's like this thing. But anyway, just more whole foods. Eat them. Roasted vegetables, some olive oil, some salt, whatever seasoning. Delicious. I like mine to get a little crispy, but they don't have to get crispy. I find that the crispiness is delicious. But yeah, let us rejoice in this information and take care of ourselves and our children. Let us be living models. Look, I done gone off. Facebook temporarily stops advertisers from filtering by race. Just temporarily. So some of these companies can say, I don't want my ads going to no black people. And Facebook is like, oh, okay. And I think it was, it wasn't Politico, but one of these companies discovered that they could filter their ads like that, and they reported it, and now Facebook has temporarily stopped it. Lebanon's teenage human calculator. It's a child who can calculate things really quick. Kellyanne Conway chosen as Trump's opioid czar. Isn't czar like a Russian leader? That's funny because I shouldn't say we've always had drug czars. I don't think we had a drug czar till Reagan did the war on drugs, but I'd have to research that. Removal of Jefferson Davis plaque in Kentucky delayed. Jefferson Davis, I found out from this article, was the president of the Confederacy. Porsche's powerful hybrid is a sports car disguised as a station wagon. When I was a kid, people had station wagons, and now people are like, there aren't station wagons. But when I look at SUVs, they look like giant station wagons to me. Did anybody, is it just me? 10-page eyewitness account of destruction of Black Wall Street. It's gone to the I think it's gone to the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. I bet you we're going to have a lot more things kind of coming out now that we have that, I shouldn't even say we have that museum, because that museum is owned by the government. But now that museum exists. Media head explodes when Matt Lauer becomes, media's head explodes when Matt Lauer becomes second morning show male sacked over sex scandal in a week. I didn't realize that Charlie Rose was fired this week too. I was like, who was the second one? That was this week. It's like stuff is happening so fast, it's disorienting. Mulan. Disney cast Chinese actress Liu Yifei in lead role. They cast somebody Asian. The people was like, you gotta cast somebody. They cast somebody Asian. So are the people happy? Air New Zealand's hilarious new Christmas greeting makes fun of the country's accent. I don't know what a New Zealand accent is. Korea passing is a sensitive issue in South Korea that Trump must be careful to avoid. So that's like when something happens in North Korea, don't nobody say nothing to South Korea. They go talk to Japan or China. And South Korea be standing there like kind of mad, like, why ain't you talking to us? We right here. Jay-Z admits cheating on Beyonce. This DIY Furby Echo speaker will probably give you nightmares. Chinese police crack down on fake Peppa Pig products. Never heard of them until this article, and people are faking them. Man fined for painting road sign to aid his commute. So he was like, well, this lane is always slow. So he changed it so that if it was supposed to be a turning lane or a straight lane, don't nobody turn here. So we just gonna make this a straight ahead lane. U.S.-led coalition against ISIS admits to killing at least 800 civilians in airstrikes. I think in the article, they like over 5,000 people have been killed, but the U.S. admits to 800 civilians. Libya migrants, emergency evacuation operation agreed. Slobodan Praljak, police investigate hack trial suicide. So he was like a war criminal in like in Eastern Europe there were these the Slavs, there were these two ethnic groups that I never heard of until about 4 or 5 or 10 years ago. And they found him guilty. He like, I'm not guilty. He took a vial of medicine. He said, I just took some poison. And then they rushed him to the hospital and he died. Yemen war, fighting breaks out among allied rebels. Chinese couple had 200 roaches in airport hand luggage. They said it was for a treatment for her. Camp Humphreys could become the front line in a war with North Korea. Here's what life is like on U.S.'s largest overseas base. You know where the largest U.S. overseas base is? In South Korea. I never even heard of Camp Humphreys. All right. right, so it's not 20 minutes, but it's 25 minutes, and we're finished. Thank you so much for watching, listening to, being here for Notes on the News Feed. Today is the best day ever. It's rainy and cold in Detroit, but it's still the best day ever. You're the greatest. We're working on 200 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you have subscribed, yay, you're fabulous, you're wonderful. Everybody fabulous and wonderful. So be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. That's Bella. She's the video vixen. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you.